railway engineers, that could go. Even High Speed 2, which could secure Crewe's place as the gateway to the north, that could go. Labour are already playing games with it, and now the SNP spectre hangs over it too. So those are the clear and present dangers to the voters of Crewe and the voters of our country. Now, there's only one way to stop all of this, and that is with a Conservative majority government. With a Conservative majority government, we can keep on with a long-term plan that is turning Britain around. With a Conservative majority government, you'll have strong, decisive and accountable leadership. With a Conservative majority government, you'll have that guaranteed investment right here in Crewe with more jobs, more growth and more hope. And there's only one way to get that Conservative majority government. You've got to vote for it. Now, maybe in other elections it didn't matter so much if you had a protest vote or went with a minor party, but this is like no election we've had before. So if you want to keep Ed Miliband and Nicola Sturgeon out, you have to vote Edward Timpson back in. You have to vote Conservative. I passionately don't want to see our country go backwards again, to see all the work of the past 5 years ruined by Labour and the SNP. Our economic recovery, it didn't happen by accident, but it could end by accident. So I want to appeal to everyone, those wondering how to cast their vote. If you voted Conservative before or never voted before, or swear you'd never vote Tory, please think very carefully about the national outcome you want and how your vote really does affect that outcome. Because when you make that mark on your ballot paper, you're writing the future of Britain in permanent ink. Labour and the SNP, the party that would bankrupt our country and the party that would break up our country, government in deadlock, our economy heading for ruin, is that what you want? A vote for anyone other than the Conservatives could deliver that outcome. Britain could sleepwalk to an outcome that the majority never wanted. So your vote matters more than ever. If you vote Conservative on the 7th of May, George Osborne and I will be back at our desks on the 8th of May, taking decisions, keeping the recovery on track, creating those jobs, making sure Britain moves forward. If you want that majority government, seeing through that plan, getting on with the job, creating more jobs, then you've got to vote Conservative. Thank you. Thank you very much. The Northwest, George, over to you.
Well, thank you, Prime Minister. Crewe is a great railway town, but just a few years ago, there were those who thought its best days were behind it. Unemployment had risen, investment had departed, and the heyday of the railways was something only written about in the town's history books. That's not the feeling here anymore. Crewe is on the up. Jobs are being created here, with unemployment claims more than halved. Manufacturing is expanding here, with Bentley investing £40 million to expand its headquarters here. Investment is coming here, with the new Link Road and the town centre regeneration being delivered by Cheshire East Council here. And this town is now set to become once again a centre of rail excellence as the location for the high-speed rail links to Liverpool, North Wales, Lancashire and beyond, a key hub, a £1 billion investment in not just the future of Crewe, but part of a £50 billion investment in the future of the north of England. Now that's the benefit you get when you combine a strong local MP like Edward Timpson and a long-term economic plan that is delivering a truly national recovery. And here in the north, the transport investment in modern high-speed rail links, faster county services, new train carriages, extended metro links, port facilities, expanded motorways and new roads are a central component of the northern powerhouse which we have set out to build. That northern powerhouse is rooted in the idea that there is nothing inevitable about the gap between the north and the south in our country growing ever wider. It's part of a vision that our nature's future no longer depends on placing all of your bets on the success of the City of London almost 200 miles to the south, but we draw on the skills and the ingenuity and the wealth-creating potential of all of our country. And it's based on the insight that great as the towns and the cities of the north are, they can be greater still as the sum of their parts. If we invest in the communication links, the science, the industry, the education, and we trust our great northern communities with control of their own affairs. Now, today we publish our plan for the working people in the Northwest to make a reality of our northern powerhouse. It's a plan that builds on what we've achieved together these last 5 years, the 137,000 more jobs, the 70,000 more businesses, the 250,000 new apprenticeships, the economic security the families have here. It's a plan for working people that sees the remarkable success of the North now growing faster than the South, and of a Northwest creating more jobs more quickly than any other part of the UK. Not as a freak development or an aberration, but as a blueprint for the future direction of our country. It's based on the long-term economic plan that the Prime Minister and I set out in Manchester earlier this year. And it's a plan that distills into 6 clear components the Conservative commitment to the Northwest of England. First, that we grow the Northwest economy and create a further 100,000 new jobs here by supporting small businesses with lower taxes and unashamedly backing the region's strengths, from manufacturing to energy and agriculture, from new tech to the creative industries. Second, that by growing the economy, we can boost family incomes for over 3 million working people in the Northwest by cutting income tax, raising the tax-free personal allowance to £12,500 and ensuring it keeps pace with the minimum wage. Third, that we invest in people's future here with 500,000 more apprenticeships, tens of thousands of great school places here. And we offer all working families here 30 hours a week of free childcare, so everyone can get the very best start in life. 4, that here in the Northwest, we back the aspirations for families to own their own home, expanding Help to Buy, standing behind those saving for a deposit for their first home with our new ISA, and ensuring 500,000 tenants of housing associations here have the right to buy their own home. 5, we commit a record £4.5 billion to specific transport investments here across the Northwest. The M6, the M62, the Northern Hub, all the A-road improvements, the new train franchises, the high-speed links north to south and east to west, High Speed 2 and High Speed 3. A renaissance of engineering and construction to forge a modern powerhouse in the north. Now, the 6th part of our plan is to use the strong economy we built here to support the strong public services people depend on, the great schools, generous pensions, and year-on-year increases in investment in our National Health Service here. Now, our plan for the Northwest is a plan for working people. It is clear, it is specific, and it's ambitious. It's a long-term economic plan with a timetable for delivery, each year bringing new jobs, rising living standards, and more investment. It brings security to people at every stage of their life. It's a plan from a Conservative Party that can point to a track record of growing the northern economy and creating jobs. And it's a plan from the only party offering the Northwest and the whole North a real vision for the future. We can say with this plan that the Conservatives are now the party for the North. And we're also going to build on the new devolution we see here in the North, so we have a truly national recovery. But building a northern powerhouse is not just about the big cities. Many of the North's greatest strengths are outside the biggest cities. Crewe's strength in rail, Warrington's nuclear industry, Chester's financial services, health sciences in Lancaster, precision engineering in North Lancashire, manufacturing in Carlisle. In this Parliament, we've created city deals for the biggest cities to build on their strengths. In the next Parliament, we'll invite deals with all the towns and counties of the North. And I want to see proposals from right across the Northwest, whether it's Cheshire, Lancashire or Cumbria, whether it's Warrington, Chester, Carlisle, Lancaster or many other towns, and of course here in Crewe. Now, there are just 17 days to go to polling day in the general election. But the voting by post has already started. And in the next 2 weeks, over 850,000 people here in the Northwest could cast their ballots early. And here in the Northwest, people will want to focus clearly on the stark choice that they now face. We can either support David Cameron and the leadership that is turning our economy around here in the Northwest, creating jobs and opportunities and security here, and which has a clear plan for the future for working people here, or we can go back to the economic chaos of the past, the unemployment, the insecurity, the lack of investment, the North falling behind the rest of the country again. And that is what an Ed Miliband Scottish Nationalist government offer. How do we know? Well, because it's what Labour's higher debt and taxes and spending gave us last time, and they would do it all over again. And let's be crystal clear about the consequences for the North West, and indeed the whole of the north of England, of the alliance with the Scottish Nationalists, which election experts now agree is Ed Miliband's only route into Downing Street. If the Scottish Nationalists are in charge, the North West of England won't get a look in. The transport projects here, they'll be cancelled. Investment in industry here, it won't happen. An Ed Miliband Scottish Nationalist government means jobs lost in the north, incomes cut in the north, insecurity rising in the north. All the misery, the loss of hope, the destroyed livelihoods that economic chaos brings in its wake. Let's look very specifically at the impact here in Crewe of an Ed Miliband Scottish Nationalist government, the cost to this town of voting Labour. Now, the SNP deputy leader has said in the last couple of days this: if there was a minority Labour administration that needed SNP help to get their legislation through, we might well say, let's not have High Speed 2 go to Manchester and Birmingham, let's have it start in Edinburgh and Glasgow. Now, that is tearing up the plan for huge investment in Crewe. That is cancelling the thousands of jobs and the businesses that will come to this town. That is a £1 billion blow to Crewe, and it is the price tag for voting for Labour and Ed Miliband here in this town. There is only one party, the Conservative Party, now capable of offering the stable majority government our country needs, and with a clear plan for working people in the North West. We're just 23 seats short of that majority, seats including those here in the North West. There's only one leader, David Cameron, with the strength and the track record and the vision to deliver for the North West. We have a plan for the North West. It brings security, reward, and a good life here. It's the Conservative plan for working people, and now is the time to vote for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to take one or two questions from the press, and then I think we have some regional journalists to talk to before I hope we can have a cup of coffee and say hello to some of you. Thank you for coming today. I think we've got